Some men are perpetual daters. What does that mean? How do I become that?
Well, a perpetual dater is a perpetual bachelor, somebody that is just unattached and chooses not to get attached. And if you're applying what's in the book, you're going to have lots of ladies interested and probably trying to lock you down, and you just got to be honest. But understand that most women, especially ones looking for a relationship, at some point are going to want to dip out. They're not going to want to stick around. So it's super important if you're going to choose to live that way, kind of be like, maybe you move around a lot for your job and you're never, for men typically are going to feel more comfortable being in a relationship when they're stable, they got a stable career, they live in an area where they really want to live, they got a car, they got a job, they got maybe a business that they're starting, and they live in the same place for a while, they built a community of people. But guys that are moving around and maybe they're some kind of an account executive, and they may move every once a quarter or twice a year just from city to city because their job requires it. Somebody like that is going to be more concerned about dating because you meet somebody, they're typically not going to you're not going to spend enough time with them, especially if you're only in town for a quarter of the year or half the year. Most of the time you're not gonna want to maintain a long distance relationship, especially if your life is unstable. Maybe like when you're in college or even in high school, maybe you just want to play the field as a guy and get some experience and see what else is out there, especially when you get to see what you have choice with women. One of the things that's interesting is that when they look at the stats of guys that are like 18 to I think 35 and like what percentage have not had sex in the last year, and when you go back to the last 8 or 10 years, it's like the number like skyrockets. Like the last 5 to 7 years, it's like a third of those dudes from like 18 to 35 are having zero sex in the last year and a half. And they're like not dating anything. And the women had the curve has gone up a little bit, but the women are still having sex because, I mean, if they're even minimally attractive, they're still getting hit on. And so you got a small percentage of the dudes that are basically sleeping with the majority of the women. There's a lot of those incel type of guys, and that's why you look at the red pill community and it's doing so well, because the red pill community doesn't have solutions. They make it very easy to point the finger and say, well, it's all modern women. Well, if it's all modern women, then you don't have to do anything to improve yourself to get women to like you more if you've been mostly unlikable. And that's why the negativity that a lot of these guys sell, they get into Rollo Tomasi's book and some of the other ones that have written this kind of work, is like there's no solutions. And so it just gives you a lot of reasons to be pissed off and upset at women and then not have to do anything to fix yourself, because you can just say, oh, well, that's the way they all are. Meanwhile, the ladies are still getting their insides rearranged by Chad Thundercock.
I don't know if it's by Chad Thundercock. I could probably say this with a lot of confidence that if graphs are saying that women are having more sex and men are not, maybe we're just so tired of men's bullshit, we're just out there having sex with each other.
What a newsflash.
What?
The ladies are all having sex, is that it?
They're all scissoring together.
We're doing this. And this.
And also, really, at the end of the
this.
day, and also when it comes to like relationships, that we get to choose our mate. We're the ones choosing our mate. We're the ones, if we're gonna delve into this, we're the ones choosing who we wish to have kids with and who we wish to have like a happy life with.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's our decision.
Even if it's not for the kids, if we need to get laid,
it's
and we don't want to be attached.
The ladies are still getting laid, whereas a third of the guys are not getting anything. And it's
women know
a small
what women
percentage
like.
of dudes are banging most of the
They
women.
should just go on Tinder. There's a library of women on Tinder.
Or Bumble.
And, yeah, go on something.
Well,
I mean, it's
I
not
think
the most
still the
respectful.
same issue there, though, that still it's like the top like 5% of guys get like 80%.
Well, it's like 80% of the guys,
Just keep
or it's like the
swiping.
majority of women have their height filters set to like 6 feet and above. And so right off the bat, it's like, and this was
Maybe we should start.
I think it was
our
Bumble
dating
or
thing.
Tinder. I forget which one, but they released the numbers, and it's something like 80% of the guys don't even the women never see their profiles because they're not like 6 feet and above. So I mean, something simple like that. If these guys had met these women in person, they would still go out with them. But on like a dating app, it's like if you're under 6 feet, then you're
Bye-bye.
gonna have 80% reach. In other words, when you use the language of the Twitter people, the visibility frequency of your dating profile is going to be reduced by 80% if you're under 6 feet. And so that means that the women are on the apps, the major 80% of them are not even going to see your profile, even though it might get shown to you because for your criteria, they match your criteria. And that's why you spent, guys that are under 6 feet spend so much time swiping and so few matches, just because even the women that they're liking, you feel like you're accomplishing something by swiping and liking their profile. But when you look at the likes to the time you spend swiping versus women that match with you, it's a time suck. And so, in all fairness, the way the apps should work is that if there's not an equal match between the profiles, then you shouldn't be seeing her picture. In other words, if her height filter is set to 6 feet and above, and you're like 5'8", 5'9", then you should not be seeing her profile. But the way the dating apps work is they want to show it, it's like ladies' night. Ladies drink free because they want the ladies there. Because if the ladies there, the guys will come in and buy them drinks and buy themselves drinks, and they'll make money. And so with the dating apps, by having you on their platform, they're showing you profiles of women, whereas they're not showing your profile to those same women. And what it does, it gives the dating app the perception that there's a lot of girls on there. But if they adjusted that height filter, that would go a long way for saving dudes a lot of time. But the thirst is real, so like
Do you even have to put your
they
height?
keep swiping.
You don't have to.
You don't have to, but certain dating apps,
They-
you're able to do so.
They request like height.
I just feel that at the end of the day, that kind of stuff is superficial.
It is superficial.
Well, he wants to be a
superficial, but-
perpetual dater, which means he wants to go on a bunch of dates.
So